Lesson 3.5, Solving Equations Using Multiplication and Division. To solve equations using multiplication and division, we're going to review the division property of inequality, and let me see if we have the multiplication property of equality. Okay, so we're going to, the division property of equality states that if you divide both sides of the equation by the same number, you will keep the equation true. So that is the only rule that we are going to implement today. So we have a couple of problems. Solve each equation using the division property of equality and check the solution. So just like we always do when solving equations, our goal is to isolate the variable, get the variable by itself, by doing the opposite of what's already in the equation. So first we're going to divide our equation into the left side and right side. Our unknown, the variable x, is on the right side of the equation. So we're going to look at the right side of the equation and see what operations needed to in order to solve it. So here we have -8 times x. Because this is, we use in division property of equality, we're going to be using division to solve this problem. So we're going to divide both sides by -8. Just make sure that you do it on both sides to keep the equation true. And -8 divided by -8 is going to give us 1x. And then on the other side, on the left side of the equation, -40 divided by -8 is going to give you a 5, is going to give us a 5. So at this point, we can drop the 1 from x. So we're going to write 5 equals x. And then we're going to rewrite the answer in more traditional form as x equals 5. To check for our solution, we're going to substitute the x, 5 for x, and see if our equation is going to hold true. So I have -40 equals -8 times 5. All right, so let's see, -8 times 5 is -40, and -40 is indeed equals -40, so this is true. We got the correct answer, x equals 5. Equation number 2, you have 2q plus 3q on one side equals 45 minus 9 on the other side. So start by dividing your equation space into the left side and right side. On the left side, you have two variables, 2q and 3q. Because they are like terms, we're going to combine them into 5q. So we're going to simplify the left side. When we looked at the right side, I see 45 minus 9, two numbers. I can find the answer there. So 45 minus 9 is going to be 36. All right. So the next step is I have 5 times q. In order for me to isolate the variable and solve for q, I need to divide both sides by 5. And I'm going to have 5 divided by 5 is a 1. So they will cancel each other. So I will have q equals, and I'm going to leave that as a fraction, 36 over 5. All right, the next one is -7 times b equals 0. All right, divide your equation into the left side and right side. Look at your left side. That's where the variable is. That's where we're going to be isolating it. The opposite of multiplication is division. So in order for us to get rid of this -7, which is -7 times b, I need to divide by -7. So I will get the 1. -7 divided by -7 will give me 1. So I have a b, and then divide by -7 the right side as well. 0 divided by -7 is going to give me a 0. Okay. So I'm going to check for the solution. I'm going to plug that back in. So I have -7 times 0 equals 0. Well, any number times 0 is going to give me 0. 0 equals 0 is true. Right. And our last equation for the day, we have n plus 25. So we have -100 equals n plus 25. So again, by dividing into the left side and right side of the equation, I'm visually separating two sides of the equations, so I can focus on the unknown, on the variable. So I have n plus 25. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. In order for me to make the 25 as a zero, I need to subtract 25 from both sides. So on the right side, I will have the n, because 25 minus 25 is a 0. On the left side, I have something going on here. So what I have on the left side is the -100 minus 25, right? So I'm going to insert the plus sign in there. So I have -100 plus -25, and that would be -125. So -125. And then I can rewrite the answer in a more traditional form, starting with the variable n equals -125. By switching sides, I am not changing anything. The same thing. It's the same thing. So the last step is to check my solution. So I'm dropping the -125 for n. So I have -100 equals -125 plus 25, right? So -125. -125 is the bigger number, so I'm going to keep the negative. And then the difference between 125 and 25 is 100. So I have -100 equals -100, which is true, means I've solved my equation correctly. That is all for 3.5, and that concludes our Unit 5.